Sportscast live in the Juicy Whip Studios. Back here running on fumes once again with the knocker. We're still putting along like that old Volkswagen Bug. Somehow it just keeps going.
Yeah.
It gets you from point A to point B, right, Knock? And that's all that matters.
We're running on like 2 cylinders right now.
Oh, my God. I think we're using like old Duracell batteries.
All
over
I
here,
can
man.
say is fuck Frontier Communications.
I'm
Ever
telling you.
since they took over for Verizon, we've had nothing but effing problems.
Nothing but problems.
In this studio, and it's just for files with Verizon.
Yeah.
For 2 years, we've been doing this in this place for 2 years. Not one effing problem.
Right.
Not one iota of a problem.
Exactly.
You change companies. They did something. Somebody did something somewhere.
Uh-oh, retard alert.
This is fiber to the prem. Fiber to the prem. There's no copper involved here. We should have nothing but absolute fantastic service, and it sucks.
Sucks, man. Frontier, you
Sucks.
can get a big fat suck my balls from everybody at the Sportscast here. So,
Well, tell him to suck my balls.
but we
Attaboy.
got Cam back in the hizzle though. He's on camera today,
Cam?
so we got 2 fresh faces for you guys. We'll have the YouTube out for you guys tomorrow. You guys can download the podcast, of course, on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, and our SoundCloud channel. We've been off for a couple weeks here, Knocker. We've got our NBA Finals team set, rematch number 3.
Oh, the NBA's still playing?
Yeah, I know. We've all forgot about it since the last month.
It's
But
been
yeah.
like 9 days
Well,
or something?
now's the time to watch. It started in October. Now's the time to watch. So we'll get to the NBA Finals, get our predictions, break down the series, give our opinions, who's got more pressure on them coming into this one. We'll also get into the NHL Stanley Cup, which we got going on behind Cam right here over his right shoulder. It looks like we got a 1-1 game. Nashville jumped out to an early lead. Pittsburgh just tied it up a little bit ago, so we'll get you updated on that as well and give you our thoughts going into that series. We got a couple things going on in baseball, Knocker. We got Mr. Bryce Harper in one of the better baseball fights that I have seen.
Absolutely.
Would you not agree, Cam?
They still look like 2 girls slapping each other. Did you see it? If you watch the slow-mo replays, like, you just see, like, Bryce Harper gets no contact and Strickland gets no contact, too. It's just awful. It's awful. It makes you appreciate Odor's punch to Batista's face.
There you go, right?
That's a fight.
Yeah.
And Nolan Ryan back in the
Well,
day.
they did land 2, though. Bryce did land a punch, so did Strickland.
As
They hit
those
each other in
fights
the
go, as the
face.
charging the mound fight goes, yes, it was one of the better ones. But what was up with the helmet thing? But Harper threw the helmet out, or was that another fight?
No. You're supposed to throw it. So I've been
He went bill.
listening to
You
people.
can't hold it by the bill,
So
right?
you're supposed to throw it. You're supposed to throw it by the ear hole, is what people say, so
Right.
it can get more accuracy. He threw it by the bill, and it kind of spun out of control.
Yeah, it looked horrible.
Yeah, it
What
looked
the
like
hell was
50 Cent's
Yeah.
throw from the
Yeah, they were
like they
comparing it to
combined the both of them together. So we'll get into that. I've got a couple things to say on it as well. The suspension rules in
Yeah, I
Major
wanna
League
talk
Baseball
about
are
that.
absolutely horrible, and they need to change. So we'll get into that as well. Also coming up, we got Tiger Woods getting the Dewey over the weekend. Not for, I guess, alcohol as
Right.
first reported, but the guy was on some meds here, Knock. And the video just got released today by Golf.com and TMZ, and dude's fucked up, man. I mean,
Whatever meds he's taking, man.
bro, dude is jacked up.
Come on, you don't know you're that messed up? I mean, come on. You don't
Hey,
know.
I remember,
This is
I
the
remember,
Tiger
I remember
getting out of
when
the car.
I remember when QuickTime here passed out in the booth, this booth, and we did stuff to him that you do to ladies, and we promised we'd never tell you. All the greatest moments of my life I spent right here in this booth. Maggie's first word, Bart jumping that canyon, Mr. Plow, all the greatest moments of my life. I gotta go pee. I don't want to get
I
up.
mean, look at that mugshot, Knock. That's a dude that's
Whoa.
on some.
That's the Photoshop.
Yeah, that's not.
much.
No, it's not.
That's-
This isn't the Sports Center one.
That is the photoshopped one, isn't
Is it?
Yeah, they redid his hair.
Because his hair's a little curly
So
on
his-
top.
Yeah, so his hair is not curly on top in the original
So they
mugshot.
wanted to make Tiger look a little more presentable.
Unbelievable.
Dude's hammered.
Yeah, dude is hammered. We're
How
gonna
many
get
back
to the,
pills did you have? 5.
It's morphine, man.
Yeah.
we've got. I think the winner for the all-time worst flop in the history of flops in sports.
Oh, my God. Absolutely.
That'll be coming up
I
in the
love
show.
it.
We've got a little LeVar Ball news coming up because everyone loves LeVar Ball, right? Everybody,
Well,
No.
especially Christine Leahy.
well.
She loves it too. I know you can't badmouth her, but I will all day long. All day.
All I can say is those shirts that they made, those are funny as hell.
They are.
Right?
They're very funny.
They
I kind
are.
of want to buy.
Stay in your lane. I want one.
As soon as he said it, I should have copyrighted that saying, man. Stay in your lane.
I'm sure someone bought that website too. Someone had to have got out and got that
Right.
domain right away.
That's probably been gone for a long time.
Yeah,
That's when the domains first came out.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
So I got a lot going on. The
More with
phones.
that than the damn shoes.
Phones are
told
down.
that to Tiger Woods.
Yeah, phones are down thanks to Frontier. So we are running a tripod here with the three of us. Knock real quick though. Again, we've been gone. I had a few things going on over the weekend. I had my daughter has surgery, so I just want to shout out to her. Everything went well. She had it on Friday. It's her first time going under, and it's so funny because they tell you kids coming out of anesthesia, especially me. I had the problem when I had that surgery on my back.
Yes, sir.
They come out and you just don't know where you are, and you're screaming, and everything's going crazy. You know, they had to hold me down. I mean, it was a traumatic experience that I went through. I still remember it today, and I was 6?
Yeah, no, you weren't held down. They put you in a cage.
Yeah, like what was I? What was?
They did. They put you in a
So
crib that
fucking
was
crazy.
a cage. Yeah, they're telling us that, we're going to put him under. When he's under, then when he comes out, we're going to put him in this cage so he doesn't hurt himself.
But why would you put me in a cage? That's
you-
just
so-
like I'm gonna go
so
crazy.
you don't jump off the bed. It was that or tie you down.
It's like
Right.
12 Monkeys. It's like
But-
Bruce
but
Willis.
12 monkeys.
But what he said
That's a good
was,
pull.
as young as you were, when you come out of this, he's not going to be able to see. He's going to be scared and he's going to be blind when he comes out of this. And as a parent to watch this totally helpless, you were screaming.
Yeah,
I can't see.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Ah, no.
So when I'm sitting in the waiting room, the surgery's it was only supposed to be an hour and a half, but it was the first time going under. She's 9 years old, and so doctor comes in and says, tells me the same thing. Hey, only one parent's allowed in the recovery room. It's weird. I don't know why. It was
That's
Queen,
odd.
That was at Queen of the Valley too. So I mean, this is the hospital that we've been to before. But I
That's
guess it's a new
strange.
policy. It's maybe overcrowded. I don't know. But he's like, yeah, and just I want you guys to know, telling me when she comes out, she could be hysterical, crying,
Right.
a basket case. So Jackie's like, well, you want to go? I was like, yeah, she probably wants to see her dad when she, gets out. So I go in there, and I'm like, all right, dude, because I'm thinking my experiences, because this is
Right.
going to be intense right now. I walk in. That girl was so fucking high. She was laughing. She was so done up. And it's like I saw my daughter, what it was like for her to get high. Like, it's her first feeling of getting high.
Right.
And so I see her, and she just, hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah, she's just fucked. I was like, this is great.
That's college in 10 years.
Yeah, I
Right?
was like, this is great.
Right, that's a preview.
Yeah, but I'm just going expecting the worst, and it's just like, just fantastic.
Wait till she comes home from a date like that.
Oh God!
Hi,
Don't
Dad.
no. Then that's when I told her that's when I buy my first gun, and I will pop it off in the backyard just to let him know it works, just to let the kid know, hey, you're gonna be called Uno. I'm gonna shoot one of your nuts off if anything happens to her. So
But everything's okay. They
everything's good.
successful and she's
everything's
doing
good.
well.
She went back to school
That's
today,
awesome.
so everything's good. And then our boy Rene, we had this guy over for a barbecue at my house.
Oh yeah, the one you didn't invite me to.
Well, because
right?
you had already come over
Oh,
first.
but so would he, even before me. But whatever. Go on.
You want to come over this weekend?
No.
Okay. He came over, and we had some drinks with him and his wife, and good time. We had the pool going. He's in the pools, smoking a little weed, chilling out. Dude hops in the hot tub, right? We're all in the hot tub. It's got 104 degrees. You're shaking your head now because you know this is going, right? Because me and my pops were talking earlier. Hot tub and alcohol just don't mix.
We literally just did that with my friends, and I had like 4 beers, and I was like, oh my God. But I had like 4 7%ers. I was like,
It's when you stand up, right? You're chilling when you're sitting in. It's fine. You're drinking beers, but once you take that first stand up out of the spa, you're like a new horse calf getting born. You can barely walk.
It's like sitting on
Be
your
wobbling.
hand. It's like sitting on your hand for an hour.
That's
And
exactly
doing
what
that.
it's like. What's the movie where it says you ever sat in your hand
Yeah.
and they gave yourself? What is that one? What is that from?
don't know.
Cam knows.
I
He
can't-
knows. He knows what
I
it's
want to
from.
think it's Good Luck, Chuck, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, I'm out on this.
Yeah, but so he gets out of the spa, and he sits in the chair, which we have kind of right next to the spa, and he's chilling out. Next thing I know, 5 minutes later, Sherry, his wife's like, "We got to go." I'm like, "What?" Look at Rene. He's just passed out on the chair, bro. 8:30 at night. So
Party animal.
party animal. So I had a good. It was good. Last couple of weeks for me. I got settled in the new house. Everything's going good. Knock. What about you? What do you got going on? Anything we need to know about last 2 weeks? I know you've been working your ass off. Other than that, though.
It's too long of a story to go into as
Okay.
far as the one car and
Oh
putting the
God.
engine in my other car and
You have the dark cloud of cars.
Needless to say, in a transaction, I lost $1,500 in a transaction.
That's not
you
good.
You buy a car
That's
from
not
a mechanic who looks you in the eye and says, "I just did the brakes, I just brand new tires, I just went through the entire engine, right? New timing chain, did the valves, blah 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 blah." Right? Just looking you in the eye. This is the mechanic, right? Referred to you by a friend. Okay, so you're gonna guarantee you work? Yeah, 3 months. Right? 3 months and 2 weeks later, as I need to sell that car to get my other car out of another shop that I'm putting an engine in, right? Overheats, right? Take it to him on a Friday, charges me $250 on a Saturday, got it fixed, right? Okay, no problem. He did 4 things I didn't ask him to do, charged me $250, but okay, I'll eat it, right? The guy that's going to buy my car is a friend. I'm driving him home the following Monday. Car overheats. Starts to overheat. What the
This is so your luck.
You just said you fixed it, right? So I got to drive him back, drive the car in, take the next day off, take it back to this guy. Turns out it's either the head gasket or the block's cracked, right? You just sold me this car. Well, you know, it's a used car. You drove it 5,000 miles. 5,000 miles! I drove it 5,000 miles. You told me you did the brakes. You just replaced the brakes. I brought it to you 2 days ago. You just replaced the brakes. Why did you replace the brakes if you just replaced them 3 months ago?
Knocker, did you feel like this?
Have you had a finger up your ass?
Did you feel like that after you?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, right?
That's not a finger. That's a knuckle. That's bad.
He went up in there.
Yeah.
Jesus
bottom
Christ.
line, he bought the car back that I paid $2,500 for, plus another $250, right? He bought it back for me for $1,200.
What?
He's going to spend $200 in labor to fix whatever went wrong and sell it again for $3,000 because now it's got a new head gasket, right? He's going to make all kinds of money on us. I just got reamed. I got raped.
Cause you had a bad day. You take it one down.
But
You sing a sad song.
What? There's redemption?
There is. God works in mysterious ways.
Okay.
Okay, because the place that I took my other car to, put the engine in,
Yeah.
it's fantastic, runs great. I didn't sell the car to my friend, which would have created a big problem because it would have overheated on him, and then I would have had a real problem
Okay.
as far as that goes, right? And because he took the money out to buy my car, he goes to work the next day. Guy pulls up in the driveway right next to he's working, selling a Golf, right? A Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah.
$2,500. He had the cash on him.
Take that, Jesus.
He got a car. I got my car with the new engine.
Worked
in it,
out.
and this guy sucked.
God, well,
The other guy sucked.
you know who else had some sucking going on? This guy over here.
I don't know what you're talking
This
about.
guy over here.
Is that
This
right,
guy over
Cam?
here. He had a hell of a
Spill it.
brother's wedding, dude. You at the Ritz?
We did. We had open bar for way too many hours. I think it was 6, I believe. And my mom, and being how awesome she is, she ordered a cigar man to hand roll cigars. And then they were either
Baller style right there.
strong or mild. And then you could dip them in cognac or rum.
What?
And smoke 'em. Yeah.
Damn.
So we got hammered.
And you got laid.
Yeah.
That too.
And you're on a streak.
Yeah. I'm on a Bryce Harper hitting streak.
You going for 3 weekends in a row this weekend? Is that what I'm
Yeah,
hearing?
I heard you're going for 3 in a row.
Yeah, I'm trying to go for 3 in a row.
He's sowing
We'll
his
see.
wild oats, old Cam over here.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Animal style.
Gotta love
Hey,
it.
man, I'm just trying to keep up with the times.
That's awesome.
All right, Knock,
Dude.
let's get into talk about Bryce Harper. Let's get into this fight we had a couple days ago. Bryce Harper was a Strickland for the Giants. Is that who it was?
Yeah.
A no-name guy, basically a relief pitcher. Who got blown up in the World Series by Harper, or not the World Series, but in the National
I think it was in
Championship
the
game.
was it in the NLCS or the NLDS?
One of the two. I know Harper took him
Yeah.
yard, though, maybe once or twice.
Harper did
yeah.
take him yard, yeah, so he kind of pinned him back for that. They got history.
We had a fight going on, Knocker. I'm sure everyone's seen the video by now, but I'll go ahead and throw it up so everyone can see what we're talking about here. Knock. Bryce Harper getting a fastball thrown right into the back of right in the back, basically. I mean, if you're gonna hit a guy, that's where you hit him. Would you disagree with that, Knock?
On the hip.
Hit him on the hip.
Yeah.
You hit him on the
Going
hip,
right at his ass.
Okay, so Bryce
or
Harper
6 feet behind him.
throwing his helmet, which I don't understand. If
Great
you're going to
throw.
throw it, I
Nice
mean,
toss.
as Cam said, right? Why hold it from the bill, right?
Well, if you're going to take it, man, you know what? Just go out there and just smash his head with it. I don't know. Do something.
Like use as a club or something,
You know
right?
what? You know what? If I got hit like this, because I'm sick of this in baseball, seeing this, because I think it's really, chicken shit to hit a guy with a ball, I'd take the bat out there, beat the hell out
Just
of
go
him.
Juan Marshall
Oh,
style.
yeah. I'd go East LA, just beat the hell out of him.
Yeah,
Beat
then
him
they
like a
then they throw
piñata.
you in jail and your career's over. That's assault, man.
Hey, man, don't throw a ball at me.
Well,
It's a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
It slipped.
It doesn't slip.
I was working the inside of the plate. It slipped.
My problem with the whole thing is not that Harper got drilled, but the fact that the suspensions that are going to be handed down between these two are not justified in either way. A relief pitcher who's probably going to pitch once during the week is going to get the same game suspension as Bryce Harper. That doesn't make any sense. He doesn't even not going to even play. Hunter's not going to even play. Hunter Strickland's not going to be able to pitch in the games that he's suspended. So what's the point, Knock? I don't understand.
Boy,
And
that's
the other thing I
difficult.
don't understand is Bryce Harper's an everyday player, and anyone that basically gets hit, any of these guys that get drilled are everyday players. When you have a relief pitcher that comes out and he ends up drilling a guy, I don't understand it. I'm kind of with, but I got on Buster Posey at first for just standing there, but I kind of see the point now. Buster's just like, you know what, dude? Why am I going to throw myself into this fight when I'm already, have potential injuries myself? When you're just being a jackass because you got blown up early, a year ago, you got your World Series ring. What are you butthurt about? I don't get it, Knock.
Well, there's a lot of unknowns here. We don't know who, if it was called from the dugout. Those things are called from the dugout. Or if he just renegade went on his own and hit him. I didn't realize. Well, it's very tough, man, if it's a relief pitcher, because you don't know when he would actually enter a game. So if you're going to give Bryce Harper 4 games, and you're talking about a relief pitcher who's going to sit out 6 days, which he might only miss 1 game that they
Maybe.
might have used
Yeah.
him. I might go a little longer if it's a relief pitcher, but it's kind of a gray area as to how long you suspend a relief pitcher because you really don't know how many times they were going to use
It's a
him.
good point. It is a big gray area, and I don't know what the answer is to it.
I mean, if it's a starting pitcher, you sit him out 4 turns in his rotation.
right? Every 5th day, that's a suspension
Right.
day. Whatever day he would have
Whatever
started.
day he would have pitched, that he has to sit
Do
out
you
4
agree with
times.
that, Cam?
So you think, if you want to go by that logic, then you kind of just do Bryce Harper would get 3 games, and you'd have Strickland maybe 3 series.
Okay.
So that would be the equivalent, probably.
So he's suspended for 3 full series. So that would be
Yeah.
in essentially 9 to 11 games somewhere
yeah,
in there.
and you know what?
Okay.
It's also
I kind of like that.
So,
Cam.
but it's also like in hockey, you have the guy who's the agitator, and then you have the guy who retaliates, right? So if they can get the guy who's the agitator, they'll usually get him for a longer penalty, depending on kind of
Right,
what
the
he
extra
does.
2 minutes for
The extra-
instigating.
Yeah, so exactly. But I know a person that you don't like on Fox. Christine broke this morning that she said Strickland told Posey that I'm going to hit him, and if he comes at me, let me go one-on-one with him. So
I did
that's
hear
why,
that today.
That's why Buster Posey didn't run out there.
Okay.
Bumgardner did the same thing and thinking, he's hurt, he's got a separated shoulder and cracked ribs. He's not going to do it.
Right.
Exactly.
So, I'd say 3 series would probably be the correct answer.
I agree with that too. And Knocker,
at least 2, 6.
Well, if you think about it, if you triple it, because he's only going to be used 2 or 3 times probably throughout
Right.
those series, anyways.
Now is he the middle relief pitcher?
He's like
setup
He's
guy.
like a
He's
long
inning
long
guy.
he's
guy.
a
Yeah.
long middle relief.
He was
pitcher.
in a game
Oh,
that
God,
they
may
yeah.
not use him for 3 or 4
That's
weeks.
what I'm
then.
saying.
Yeah.
So what I would say is you got to do like 3 series. Even a guy like, let's say, one of the best middle relief guys, if not setup guys in baseball, Andrew Miller. I have him on my fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
He literally probably only gets used maybe 2-3 times a week,
Right.
and they'll have 6-7 games.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'd like,
Okay.
with that being said, with knowing that maybe that was said in the dugout, Knocker, do you think that even provides a more harsher punishment for Strickland?
If that is true,
like
if that was premeditated, and if that
it was obvious.
true,
It was a 100-mile-an-hour fastball in the guy's back. I mean,
but the thing
but
is,
you can always. It's always been obvious, but you can't prove it.
that's the problem.
So if the guy made a statement, and it's a true statement that he's telling his catcher,
Yeah.
I'm going to hit him,
yeah.
then he needs to be gone for a long time. You got to take this out of the game. It's
It's
You
just
know,
not
I'm
fair to
old
the
school,
everyday
I'm
player
old
that has
school
to
and
sit up
this and
there and
that.
get pegged. And then that pitcher, first of all, probably is never going to bat, so he's never going to become under the same circumstance that Bryce
Right.
Harper is. It's just chicken shit to me.
I agree.
It's the problem is that it's the same thing that I didn't like about Zach Greinke and when it was who was the Padre who went out in charge to beat his ass.
Yeah, I
It was, I exactly what
I
I'm
know
talking
what you're
about.
talking about as well,
But
yeah.
it's the same point of that your star player is now going to get hit. If he gets hurt, like that's to me that is just you're just going about it a roundabout way of hurting guys and getting guys injured, and especially it's not good for the game to see because baseball is so star driven.
right.
Like
yeah.
Mike Trout being out for 6
Out with
to
the
8
thumb
weeks
injury,
is now.
yeah.
I don't want to go see the Angels.
I agree with you, man. The only reason you and one of the players that actually you want to turn the TV on right now is Bryce Harper. He's one of the guys that's he's the focal point of baseball.
by a no-name long reliever.
Right.
Here's my issue with the whole thing, and literally, I can see this. Okay, let's say he hits him in the head, or let's say he hits him in the elbow and breaks his elbow, or breaks his wrist, or breaks his arm. If he made that statement in the dugout, he could be charged. Premeditated, aggravated assault, put his
Yeah.
ass in jail. They did
Yeah.
it to McSorley.
That's true.
They've done it to hockey players who go just ape shit and do something really bad, and you can see him skating across the ice.
Taking a
it
stick
wasn't
to some dude's head,
instantaneous.
yeah.
He skated across the ice and blasted Brashear over the back of the head.
Yeah.
And they charged him. Canada charged him. Why can't they charge this pitcher with assault? That'll stop this shit. That'll just stop the intentional throwing. Only, and in this
But
case, is unique because he admitted he was going to do it.
What about the guys that the baseball people will say it's part of the game, Knock? It's part
Not
of
that.
the game. It's always been part of the game.
But
Yeah,
That's-
it is, but
right?
you don't talk about it. That's the problem I
point.
have. You don't talk about it. You just go do it.
yeah.
You don't talk to you don't talk in the dugout. I'm going to hit him and have some other people hear you say that. You just go out there and plunk his ass.
Yeah.
And it just like everybody else, just pitch got away.
Just because it's part of the game doesn't mean it's correct. It's the
I
same
agree.
thing. It's the same thing in hockey when you have a guy go after another guy. I mean, people will say that
Are goons part of hockey?
goons are somewhat part of hockey, but there's a legal goon. There's guys like Matt Cook and Rafi Torres who people hate throughout the league because they go after cheap shots. It's the same thing like we were talking about earlier with Zaza Pachulia. There's a guy who can get a little physical in the paint. You'll be elbowing and stuff like that in that region. But when you're coming down and you're landing and you're sticking your foot on guys' landing foot, that's when you
Right.
get into the point in sports where it's like, okay,
So what to your point though, you're saying that every sport has that guy
there's
on
a
that team that's going to cross the line every once in a while and take, or be more physical. So does baseball have that guy?
I think
Is
baseball
there
has
a
that guy.
pitcher that is
Absolutely.
a relief pitcher that guy?
I-
Is he the guy that comes in and you're like, know what, I'm going to drill your best guy? No, you know what?
You know
Let
what?
him charge me. I'll
but
take the
I
punches.
think there is and here's the point though is that it's never like stars hitting stars necessarily.
Exactly.
It's more of the middle relief guy hits the star.
Yeah.
Your middle relief guy comes in, he hits the other star, so that you don't have any blowback on your best guys, so you don't get them suspended.
But you know what? If I may, were you done?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You mentioned hockey. Okay, there's a fine line between the dirty player
Yeah.
who's taking the cheap shots and then the guy that's on the team to make sure that you don't take Gretzky out. I mean, they have to police it themselves. Hockey teams have to police the violence on their star players themselves, and I think they do a really good job of it. The other team knows, okay, if I get a clean shot at him, I'm going to hit him, and I'll probably take a fight, or they're going to come after me anyway. And that's okay. I don't mind that to keep the cheap shit out of the game against the stars, like you said, star-driven leagues, right?
Yeah.
You can't have the cheap guys, but if it's but you also have the physical guys. That's part of the game. I got to protect my Sidney Crosby. I got to protect my Wayne Gretzky. You can't just take runs at him because I'm going to come and get you. Baseball's a little tougher. Basketball's getting kind of like that. Every once in a while, you'll get one or two guys in the league that are dirty players.
Draymond Green. Everyone's got their one guy.
In my opinion, there's no place for dirty players in any sport, period. That goes for auto racing. That goes
Could I
for
argue that it's
basketball.
not dirty and it's just physical?
No, because
There's a line.
There's a line, and people who have played sports, you know when it's crossed.
Yeah.
You know when it's crossed. I know when it's crossed. And if that's a consistent player who's doing those things, then the commissioners need to get these people out of the league. I don't mind hard play. I don't mind physical play. I don't mind any of that. But there is a line between being a dirty player who's just looking to hurt people and just doing the violence as part of any sport.
What's to prevent a pitcher, say there's a week left in the season, let's just say it's Mets and I'm just hypothetically speaking, Mets Nationals, there's a game separating them, okay? And they've got a 4-game series. Game 1 of the series, relief pitcher for the Mets comes out, drills Bryce Harper, knowing that Bryce Harper's a little hot-headed, is going to probably charge him or do something. Bryce charges him, he gets 4-game suspension, changes the whole complex of that series and maybe the outcome of the season.
You know what?
But then that's on Bryce Harper. He's got to know he can't go out there.
But to that point, though, why wouldn't the relief pitcher get a harsher
Well, he
penalty?
could get suspended and what have you, but if you're Bryce Harper, if he didn't hit you hard enough to where you could get up and charge the mound, then you have to take it.
Here's the
You
problem.
can't be I'm sorry. You can't be selfish, and you have to understand the situation that they might just do that. The Cardinals did that to the Dodgers, 2 years ago? They hit Grandal, and they hit somebody else. The first game of the damn series took them both out of the damn playoff series, and the Cardinals end up winning, going to the World Series.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's there, but it's hard to prove.
I also like in hockey, and I think Bud Knocker's getting to this point. In hockey, there's a difference between finishing your check and taking a blatant cheap shot. And everybody knows what that is, and that's kind of defined. I think in basketball, too, there's nothing ever been worse for me than knowing that I'm coming down as a shooter and I've gotten hurt and rolled my ankle, and, that's taken me out of games and stuff that I wanted to play. Mm-hmm. You have to treat this like steroids in baseball almost. You have to start getting these guys harsher penalties for instigating because it won't stop.
Agree. I agree.
I mean, that's the reality of it. So, and you know what? Maybe you do what hockey does. As long as the other guy's out, you're out too.
I was going to bring that good point there because Knocker, you've always said that.
I've been an advocate
for
that
for
for
ever since we've been talking sports.
Yes.
You know, you take a guy out, you break his ankle on a cheap shot in hockey, and he's out 6 to 8 weeks, so you're out that
So
6
are
to 8
you.
weeks.
Yep.
I mean, that might be where it has to go to order to get these guys to stop doing it.
Here's the problem. It's a steroid, even a minor steroid or getting caught with a banned substance. You're like, let's say if you smoke pot, it's like 50 games. And it's like, this stuff is way worse than smoking
I
weed.
agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd rather have people be doing drugs than this type of stuff. So, I mean, that's what they got to treat it like. But
Yeah, I
Well,
agree with John.
let's take this scenario. Say Strickland had broken Harper's wrist.
Yeah.
Right? And Harper's out for 6 weeks. So are you.
Yeah, see, I'm
Yeah.
totally with
Right?
that.
I agree.
I think that's the only way you could really change what's going on. So,
I agree.
all right, Knock. Let's take a quick break here. Let's wrap the first half hour. I got to get a drink here. So, as we roll on here, we're going to get into our NBA playoffs. I'm glad you're here because you're our basketball guy. We're going to get into this NBA playoffs. Cavs versus Warriors. Who's got more pressure on them? Durant. We've got the three-peat once again. You got LeBron James. You've got Kyrie Irving. Both teams are healthy except for the Golden State. I mean, you think about a team going in, your coaching staff's what's banged up, and that's what you know for Golden State here. So we'll talk about that. NHL playoffs. Knock, what's the update on the game here?
1-1, 17 minutes left in the second period.
Okay, so we got a good one. I'm going
we
to go on
do.
the limb here just before we get our predictions, though. I think whoever wins this game wins the series. I think it's that pivotal of a game for both teams.
Okay, I'll buy that.
I'm going to go with
I'm
that.
alright
So we'll
with
talk
that.
about that. Tiger Woods coming
Actually,
up. We'll talk about the Dewey. The flop heard around the world. Can't wait to show you that one. I'm not talking about
Cam last weekend.
That's what I'm talking about. I'll be back after this.